All right. Welcome, everybody, to the latest episode of the Chronicles of House Tanner. We are in the middle of our first big novel plot, the Wyvern Wood, and we're in Chapter 2. And I'm going to just very briefly ask our players to introduce themselves. Let's start with Di.
Hoi, I'm Di, playing both Mena, the Falconer, and Jenna Tanner, aka Janna Frey, the very wealthy lady of House Tanner.
Sorry.
And how's it going?
And so far, it's going well. James?
I am James Lee. I'm playing Corling Jast, the Huntsmaster of Lord Tanner. And currently, I believe we are using some of my elites to scout the forest along with a bunch of other random people that are lesser important.
Deb?
I'm Deborah. I'm playing Sir Benjamin, which is a hedge knight who basically got her leg chopped on by an alligator last week.
Yes, you are our first contestant in World Without Clerics.
Ouch.
Wow.
Tanner.
I'm Tanner, playing Will Tanner, the eminently lovable heir of House Tanner.
Which all true. And Garrett.
I'm Garrett Moffat. I'm playing Lord Tanner, or I'm playing the plucky young archer Stefan, depending on what we do.
Who is a red shirt and just asking for like a crocodile bite. But so far you've lived and gained XP. Okay. A very brief recap.
Did you introduce yourself?
Yes.
House Tanner is brokering an alliance with House Barnell on the other side of Durain's forest to team up and take out the bandits, the outlaws, led by Durain the Red, Dugan the Red, who lives in the forest with potentially an army of outlaws. However, before this alliance can move forward militarily, they have to scout the woods and figure out where the bandits are and to learn the lay of the land inside the forest. So, Lord Tanner has agreed to arrange that, and he has assigned his huntmaster, Corling Jast, to lead an expedition into the forest. And you've done this over the course of 2 days, and I'm going to share a map now. Over the course of 2 days, your group crossed the ferry down here at the bottom lower right corner of the map at 1108. You crossed the ferry. You saw some ruins inside the forest edge, and you investigated them, and you spent a few hours searching this whole hex. And you found a path leading away, probably to the ruins that can be visible from the farmlands. Well, they're not actually visible. What you know are there, deep inside the woods. But you did not follow that path. Instead, you saw some wolves that were inhabiting these ruins, and rather than quarrel with them, you retreated, went back to the road, and you went north along the road. The forest is very dense, so dense that you cannot see the sun once you're inside. It's also hilly, crisscrossed with streams and trails, and it's home to a deep fog that covers the lowland in the forest. All of this makes it very, very difficult to navigate inside the forest without getting lost. You took the road north, knowing that there was supposedly an entrance. You learned from Will's old contacts among the bandits, including Sir Jarek Fatcastle, a former bandit that used to live in the forest, told you that there was an old road that moves through the forest that was accessible from along the King's Road in the north. And so, seeking to find that entrance, you went north. You found some ruin, like an old wall, that hugged along the edge of the King's Road, right about here where it turns. And behind that wall, you found a big bear lairing, and it spotted you and charged you. It charged Sir Benjamin, went up against his shield. He took a little bit of like a health point damage, nothing serious, and then he stabbed it through the eye and killed it in one blow, earning his sobriquet, Sir Benjamin Bear Slayer. You found a shield, an old abandoned Targaryen shield, with a strange poem on the inside, or not even a poem, a little like riddle on the inside. And you weren't sure what to make of it, and you continued on. You found the ruins to the north, and there was a gate here, like a ruined archway that leads to the old stone road. And this is where the dragons were. There's an old Targaryen lamps, like flaming lamps that had run out of fuel, and Will managed to get them running again. And you went into the woods, sticking on the road. You found Rugar Hold and explored it, finding it empty. You found some strange clues, maybe pertaining to the riddle from the shield. But no bandits, no outlaws. You camped overnight in the forest, and then continued on your way. You investigated Rugar Hold, and then south along the old road. You found a trail heading west. You took it, and that led you to another ruined tower with a little stone dock. And that's where you found a family of lizard lions who attacked you. You killed one. One of them ran up and started to chew on Sir Benjamin and actually inflicted some injuries to him before Maina distracted them and lured them away from the rest of the group. And then you beat a hasty retreat. Over many hours, including after dark, you did a forced march. You traveled south along the river, trying to make for home now, because you were injured and you had visited Rugar Hold, so you decided to return to base. And over about a 12-hour march, you made it back late, like around midnight, to the ferry, where you woke young Ned, and he took you safely across the river, and you returned back to Tanner Hall. Let's begin with some rest and recuperation. A couple of people, Stefan and Benjamin, took a level of exhaustion from traveling so late at night for so long of a day. Now, Stefan, that's easy for you to recover. You just spend a day resting. And you'll get that back. Benjamin, you'll also get it back after a day, but before that happens, you have to make a wound recovery roll.
Okay.
Now, ordinarily, a character who would be injured would just go to a healer. But you're not going to do that, are you? Nope. I had a feeling.
In fact, I've been thinking I probably should give myself some first aid.
Give yourself what?
By myself some first aid.
Well, so it turns out that the way that you can try, if you had high heal ability, you could use that. The way that healing from injuries works in this game is that the heal ability can substitute for the target's endurance ability. Now, your endurance is 3. So you'd have to raise your heal higher than 3 or get some bonus dice or something for you to be much better at first aid than your natural healing process. Does that make any sense?
Yes.
So the first thing that happens is that a day goes by and you have to, when you were first injured, which was around noon and you have to make a healing roll. So you would normally make an endurance test on this, and the difficulty of the test is based on the activities that you did during the day, which for you is fighting, because this is the day of your injury, and you've been traveling hard all night. Now, you had a day since the fight, but then you were also like late marching and stuff. So This is going to be a pretty tough test, the first one. Once you get past that, you can just have bed rest, right? But you didn't have bed rest right away. You had a late night marching. So that's going to make it a challenge. So the first difficulty is formidable, which is 12. Now, so you make an endurance test with the difficulty of 12, and your fatigue and your 2 wounds count against you. So make an endurance test and then subtract 3.
Six.
Okay, and the difficulty was 12. So you failed by more than 5. That's a critical failure.
Ow.
So you recover the level of endurance because that just goes away with a day of rest.
Okay.
But then you take another wound because
Ooh.
your leg is getting worse. Like you were walking on your bad leg for all that long journey back from the forest. And
So,
yes,
is that a wound or an injury?
an injury. I'm sorry. It's an injury.
I was going to say, wait a second. I don't want a wound.
Yeah, well, but see, here's the thing. So you take the injury, but now you're at the maximum number of injuries
Right.
for you, which is 3. So if you fail by 5 again, you're going to get a wound.
Okay.
The good news is that now you can just rest, so the difficulty is much easier.
So did she critically fail?
She did. And a critical failure is when you fail by 5 or more.
Okay. Okay.
It's different than a fumble in combat. A fumble in combat is when you roll all 1s.
Okay. And this
But,
this is would be a pretty hard one because she's walking, right? So, okay. Sorry, I was just making sure I was following along on how the healing worked. I figured that might be important for my character at some point.
if she's just resting, if you have no fighting, writing, or physical activity, the difficulty goes down to 6.
Yeah.
So after this, on the second day, Benjamin, give me another die roll. Now you're still minus 3 because you have 3 wounds now, but the target number is only 6 instead of 12.
1.
You rolled a 1.
I
Okay.
rolled a 4. I rolled a 4. So
You rolled a 4, minus 3 for your wounds is a 1. Okay.
Yep.
World without clerics, everybody. Here's how it happens. The death of the first as her leg gets infected and she dies from sepsis. Okay. So Benjamin, your leg is not getting better. In fact, it gets worse. It starts to stink. You take a wound. You still have your injuries, and you now have a wound, which means you're minus 1 die on
So,
everything.
at this point, can there be a role play intervention
Well,
that?
I'm going to leave it to Benjamin. It's kind of,
Okay.
this is really up to Benjamin to sort of decide what to do, but we're on the second day. So let's pause Benjamin for a minute and let Deborah decide, think about your future, Sir Benjamin.
I
And
recommend bionic leg.
One of the things I'll point out here is if you use treat injury, if someone uses it on you, they can never make you worse. So as long as you're under proper care, you won't at least get worse.
Yes, but the problem is proper care could
Yeah.
spoil my secret.
those are very shapely legs, Sir Benjamin.
I'm just pointing out that there is a very significant benefit here.
Yes.
Well,
Well, plus, the main benefit is that enemy with treat injury doesn't have any penalties to the die roll.
Yeah.
Right. But then you're right. They can't like make you worse. But anyway, all right. Meanwhile, the rest of the group. Corlin, I presume that at some point you would like to go report to your boss and tell him what happened.
I would love to do that. So I do that.
Okay. Mena was.
Go ahead.
Let's look at the map that I was showing you guys. You've got sort of a version of this map, and it on the one hand it solved your first mission was go to Rugar's hold and scout the hold. You've done that now,
Yeah.
but you never found any outlaws. Like you weren't attacked by the bandits.
And was there any trace of them even being there?
You found signs of people. There's a lot of people that live in the forest, but you did not find a bandit camp. It's hard to know what evidence. You didn't find like a bunch of footprints that say, "Yo, we be bandits." You know.
Well, I was more thinking of like had Ruger Hold actually been used recently as a longer term thing? Like, is there like signs there was multiple cook fires, that kind of thing? It's like anything I can think of.
No, it looked abandoned. There were wild animals living in it.
Oh, okay. All right. So yeah. So, Lord Tanner, so we, as you can see, I made the map, and I kind of walk him through it, and I'm like, so we did make it to the Hall, and it does not appear that any large force has been living there anytime recently. So that cannot be their base of operations.
Now, I will note that you also had the prince, Will, with you. So Will, you're probably around as well, unless Corlin doesn't want you to be around when he tells the story of what happened.
No, I'd have no problems with Will being there. I'd actually kind of expect him to be, one of those kind of in charge of this thing.
Yep.
Will outranks me, but technically,
Yep.
It was my mission. So I would want him to be there, but I would expect to basically do the whole thing myself. And if Will wants to jump in, he would jump in.
Okay.
So.
Well, it's up to you guys. I am not in the room, so I'm going to let you guys decide what to do next.
So, Lord Tanner, so we made it to Ruger Hall. From the signs, humans hadn't been there for a while. I think that's where Sir Benjamin got bit, right? Or no, that was once we moved on. Sorry. That
was over at the that was by the river where the little stone docks were. Is where the lizard lions were hanging out.
Yeah. So
over here.
Now, were either of these rivers traversable by like boat or anything like that?
The rivers here?
Yes.
These are just little streams. You can wade across them.
Yeah, I was just saying, would they be a possible way to get easier and deeper into the forest if more people came in?
Oh, no, they're just
ridiculous. But it sounds like no, they're not.
They do have a function though, and that function is navigation. You can follow the stream.
Exactly.
It helps you from being lost.
Yeah. So I figure we cut from the route we took, we cut through a good 25% of the forest, although we only really searched the area closest to us, to Tannerton.
Right.
Tanner Hall. We searched that area pretty thoroughly. We're pretty sure the bandits have not been there recently. And the ruins right around north of Tanner Hall seem to be clear.
No, that is not true.
We did not explore the ruins north of Tanner Hall. We explored the grid to the right, bottom right of it.
Down here.
Oh, okay.
No, the other one. By the end of the ferry up the road. Because we took the road north and we actually entered the forest through the northeast.
Yeah. The hex where the big gold star is the only you guys explored that hex.
Yeah.
And there were no bandits there, but you didn't really, but otherwise you mostly stuck to the road.
Okay, so I'm sorry, I thought we had moved to the 10-8 square.
Nope.
Okay, so we explored right around, basically just to the north of the ferry.
Yep.
Explore that area. We then followed the main road, yep, and then cut across.
Yep.
And although, if I remember right, we did see signs that people in the forest.
Yes.
But we did not come across any camps of any kind. No, like large enough to be a bandit group.
Correct. There are cabins and like homesteads inside the forest. There's a surprising number of people live there.
Okay.
But they avoided you.
Yeah, and we were able to follow some trails,
yeah,
to get where we needed to go. So we eventually came down to the river. It's like the north bank of the Trident, I think, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so the North Trident there. I think that's where we ran into the eventually that's right after we ran into the lion dragons or whatever.
Lizard lions.
Okay. Lizard lions.
Yeah, that's what Westeros calls crocodiles.
Yeah, so the lizard lions, and that's where Sir Benjamin was injured.
Yes.
We then decided that we would make for Tanner Hall along the river as a navigational aid and to make it easier to travel. It was a long hike, but we got back here. From what I've seen, it's going to take several more weeks to search the forest, although we still haven't explored the ruins yet. So at this point, I'd say we recover but go back out. I don't think we've exhausted what we need to search through.
I agree.
You're always a font of wisdom, Lord Tanner.
Father, it's important that you know I hit something with a sword during this mission. It was really exciting.
And who witnessed this spectacular event?
it bounced off, but it looked kind of cool.
And a little voice whispers in Will's head that Mena saved his life twice.
Oh yeah, and Mena's do. I don't know what kind of resources we have to promote Mena's station, but she literally saved my life. I would have easily been killed by a crocodile.
The riddle.
She was incredible. And there seems to be in the forest something afoot. We found a riddle that was on a Targaryen shield, and it I can't help but think that there's something hidden. Given the fact we didn't see anything, any remains of bandits or anything, and all of these ruins seem to be completely hidden. But we found this riddle that seems to indicate that there's more to this forest than it seems. We have to continue searching and hopefully figure out what this riddle means exactly.
Well, I wouldn't put too much stock in an ancient riddle that for ruined things that are probably broken down.
Well,
Let
me tell you, there was a dragon head that we made to breathe fire that looked incredibly heavy metal, and some of this stuff is still in operation. So there is a possibility that that these bandits may be using some old Targaryen technology to hide themselves, or maybe for warfare that could be useful to us.
Yeah, Lord Tenor, I don't know what a bunch of stupid squibbles on a shield is supposed to mean that he's found under a bush, but I have to agree with him. We did find some pretty strange stuff out in that forest. I think there might be something else going on, or the bandits might be more different than we thought.
Do you have an approximate census of the number of people you've ran into while out there?
I give him a very accurate number.
It's your estimate that there's probably, there's got to be hundreds of people, maybe thousands living in the forest. It's sizably populated.
Thousands of people not paying taxes.
So, quick question: how big are the hexes again on the map?
Hexes are 3 miles, 1 league.
3 miles. So, looking at the map, got the wiki, and if you're watching this, live viewers, don't forget to go to the wiki.
Yes.
Okay.
The hexes are 3 miles, and you can make about 1 hex every hour along a flat road, like a best travel along a plain. But inside the forest, your travel is much slower. It's maybe 2 hours to go a hex along the old road, and then maybe 3 hours to cross a hex if you leave a road, or if you leave the road, and that includes a trail. If you want to search an entire hex, you can spend 4 hours to do that, and you can basically find everything important in the hex.
Okay. Well, I'm having trouble finding. Can you link the wiki in the chat real quick?
Yeah, sure.
So,
and early on in the journey, we saw that path right really close. There's a set of ruins to the south that edges on our border, and there was a path there that we didn't choose to follow, but there is close to our border some ripe area for exploring if we were to go ranging again.
Yeah, you're talking about these ruins here, and
yeah,
you learned, Tanner, you learned, Will, that these are this ruin is known as South Hall. That's what the outlaws call it. That's what the people that live in the forest call it. Is South.
Okay. So, if by my estimate there could be maybe 1,000 people there, a couple hundred at least.
Yeah.
What are the people doing?
Living.
All like little plots of land.
Well, they don't farm because there's no farmland. They're basically woodsmen. Like they've got like maybe a little pen of animals, like some chickens or some pigs. They're completely subsistence. They raise their own. They hunt for their own food, and it's just they don't have any careers or occupations. They're just woodsmen and bandits. Not even bandits. They just live in the woods, avoiding taxes, as Lord Tanner pointed out.
Yeah,
the
area is
hermit utopia.
Yes.
Yeah, and the area is is really would be difficult to explore thoroughly too quickly, just because it's very hilly, it's very wooded. You could walk right past one of these things and not even know it. We probably walked past some that we didn't even see. You know, you could be down in a valley and there could be one right across the hill from you, and you wouldn't even see if you didn't. You know, there's no smoke or anything.
That's correct. That's correct.
So it's kind of hard to say. Of course, the path we took, we would have seen a large bandit grouping or anything like a small village.
Yes.
They were all individual homesteads.
Yes.
I think
to go take that path.
so it would be at least a couple more weeks to safely explore even just the hexes closest to the Tanner Hall.
Yes.
Which would be my recommendation, is if we start anywhere, is we start to the area just across the river from Tanner Hall and make sure that area is cleared out with the ruins and all that. How's that sound, sir?
That sounds like a really good idea. Will?
I completely agree. I do. Sir Benjamin's condition, I think, is not great after the encounter with those lizard lions. And given how dangerous this forest is, we're going to definitely need him in great shape. I'm certainly not capable of putting a sword through a bear's eye. And I would feel more comfortable with him alongside us.
I also, my lord, would feel more comfortable with Sir Benjamin beside us.
But before we go back, or send you back, I want you to spread a rumor that due to the injury, we will not be going back.
I can spread rumors.
Yeah. Right, because word may have gotten out, and they may have the bandits may have been informed and just hid.
Yeah, good idea.
I'll
go down to town and spread some rumors.
Okay, so let's see. I'm thinking maybe a Streetwise roll. Streetwise is for listening for rumors. That sounds like the same thing you would use.
Or could it be some version of persuasion? One of the social skills?
Well, do you have Streetwise?
Yep.
Let's roll that.
That is an 18.
Oh, excellent. Okay, very good. Well, you go down to the tavern, and your favorite bandits, ex-bandits, are there.
Fat Castle, my man.
Whoa! You survived!
This guy. Yeah, it was everything you said and more.
Who was right? Who was right?
You know, Fat Castle, it was scary as hell, and we're not in the mood to go out there anytime soon. So we're gonna hang back for a while. And
that's my boy. He grabs you by the neck.
You were totally right that we should have never gone there.
Taught him everything he knows, this boy. You see something scary and intimidating, what do? You run.
Yeah, you run away. I should have listened. I came close to death. But Fat Castle, we found this note in a shield, a Targaryen shield. And I was wondering, I want you to take a look at it and let me know if there's anything that strikes you about it. It's some kind of riddle. I don't know how good you are with riddles.
He looks at it. First one, then two. Step forward and buckle my shoe. No. Up for 3, down for 4. This sounds like a children's game, Will.
Yeah, okay. Well, give me the note back and
Okay.
Yeah, but and I finally say really loudly, yeah, we're not going back. We're
all right,
we're just not going back.
Your rumor is effectively spread. Now, So within about a day, everyone has decided that Will Tanner is a lily-livered coward, and you're not going anywhere near the woods again because there might be bandits. And
half of that is very accurate.
Easily enough, it was pretty easy to convince people.
Yeah. All right. So, what about Maina or Jenna? You have any plans or anything you'd like to be doing?
Let's see.
Now, why don't you make a wealth roll for me? So you are rolling. Let me. It might just be a flat up status test, but you might get to add some bonus dice. I can look this up. It's on.
Easy, cunning, or status.
Okay, so roll either one of those.
That would be status.
Okay, roll it.
Status 4 means 4 dice.
Yes.
All right, that's gonna be 20.
Okay, so easiest 3, so you succeed, and then 8 and 12 and 18. So that's the maximum. Like you can't get more than 4 degrees of success. So 40 gold dragons.
We are
your monthly allowance from House Frey.
To 121 gold dragons, 12 silver stags. So
you go below that on bingo.
Well, I do feel like buffing the house. I mean, that's what the ladies do.
Yeah.
They provide for the household.
How much have you got?
Got 121 gold dragons and 12 silver stags.
200 to raise the house's wealth stat by 1. 200? 200.
All right, we'll sit on it then for next game.
You're close. I mean, it's only a matter of time. This is every month you roll, so.
Yep. In the meantime, let's start learning about the neighbors that we made the deal with. I didn't write down their name again. The one we've got.
House Barnell.
House Barnell.
And they're on. There's some of the NPCs are now on the wiki. I will put up a link here. The narrator characters page has several of the characters as well as their symbol.
Oh, nice work.
Thank you. And you can see Thomas Barnell, Gareth Snow, the bastard son, Davith Barnell, who's the younger legitimate son, and then Lady Aliana Barnell, who does not have any stats. The main thing that that you might be thinking about is the offer by Aliana Barnell of sealing your alliance with marriage, with blood. That Gareth Snow might marry Ivy Tanner, who is his age and single. Ricard agreed to organize an introduction of these two at the next festival in Tannerton, which is the Great Tap, by the way.
I think it's in Jenna's best interest that that go well.
Okay. The next festival is called the Great Tap. It is a beer tasting competition.
Sounds right up Will's alley.
People from all over the Riverlands come to Tannerton, and it's mostly mead. No, ale. It's mostly ale, but there is also some mead, cider, and wine, although those are all girly drinks. And the reigning champion is a nearby family. I have my notes. Hartsmead is the reigning champion, champion beer, but there are some rivals. And every year you throw. This is a personally invented, basically by Tanner, House Tanner. This competition was created for your annual festivals, and it's proven to be very popular. And the prize is a golden flagon a flagon made of solid gold given out by House Tanner to the winning family every year.
Is House Barnell a participant in the contest?
No.
Okay.
They are notoriously isolated in terms of politics. They have no influence or social contacts. Thomas Barnell is basically a military man, and he has no time for court stuff. Now, his wife, who is your cousin, by the way, Aliana Barnell, is also a granddaughter of Walter Fred. She is your cousin. And she has tried to get the house back into the politics of the region, but it's tough because they're also broke.
So they are definitely coming to the festival?
You don't know. Well, presumably, because Gareth Snow, who's Thomas's illegitimate child by his dead girlfriend, was very interested, apparently, in meeting Ivy Tanner.
Let's send an invitation
Okay.
for Lord Thomas Barnell to sit on the tasting committee, the judges' table.
Okay. Yeah, you bet. Would you like to, do you want to, I mean, you don't have to make a roll to do that. But if you have a skill or something you would like to roll to try to influence him by letter, you may.
We've got status and breeding or persuasion and bargain.
Whatever you'd like to roll.
Also got will and dedication.
Well, will is in this case primarily defensive.
Okay. Then I think status breeding gives me the best because I got 2 bonus dice.
Okay. So
6, keep 5.
I'm sorry, what do you want?
Is it so I have status 4, breeding 2. Well, you said we don't need to roll.
No, but you can if you want to influence him.
Yeah, I do.
Okay, so you got 4 status and then 2 bonus dice in breeding?
Yes.
Okay, so roll 6, keep 4.
Keep 4. Got it. All right. I need... do me a favor. Roll me 6 dice and keep 4, because I've only got 3, and I'm not about to try to do this.
Garrett, you got dice.
I do.
Go for your wife. Not that wife, your other wife.
I trust you, Garrett.
Your actual wife is busy dying of a...
How many am I rolling?
6.
You're rolling 6 and keeping 4.
Highest 4, please.
All right. 20.
Well, there you go.
Very nice. Thank you.
All right, you craft...
Wait. One of these has 5s on all the sides.
Loaded dice.
I don't know what that came from. Oh, I re-rolled it and got a 5 anyways, so we're
Well,
good.
there you go. Okay.
Nice.
So back to 20. You craft an elegant and courteous letter which flatters him, acknowledges the fact that he may feel uncomfortable doing this, but assures him that he will be masterful at it and that everybody respects him. And after all, who knows beer better than soldiers, right?
Right.
And you're pretty confident that he could in no way refuse such a gracious invitation. Would you like to send it by Raven? Because you can do that.
Yeah, why not?
You have a Meister with who keeps your ravens, and you have it sent by Raven. And you should get a reply back in a day or 2.
All right. I think we're content.
Okay, good. Benjamin.
Yeah,
That leg is looking bad, man.
I know.
What do you want to do?
Oh, man.
Now, up to this point, I'm presuming that you have been basically hiding in your room in the castle.
Yes.
Because you're you're captain of the guard, the master at arms. So you have a room in Tanner Hall.
At some point, I do want to visit him.
Ah, okay. So, Benjamin, what would you like to do? Your leg is looking bad. You're pretty sure that someone's going to come and see you pretty soon.
So, do I let it go maybe having it cut off and basically ending my time as a knight.
Yes.
Do I not do anything? Probably die from gangrene, but I die an honorable death of killing the
You will die a man.
and the bear.
Yes.
Another option is maybe you can gain some trust or leverage over the Meister, who's the guy healing you, I believe.
Yeah, you can
Or
swear
do I have somebody to look at it? My secret is discovered, and I am horribly killed and disgraced, possibly bringing shame to the whole.
I think that is totally your call, and you know, like,
Unless it's set up that your secret's kept in some way.
like,
And if you die, you're also going to bring disgrace because they'll find out then.
but from the GM's perspective, you can always make a new character.
Benjamin the Bear Slayer Part 2.
Yes.
Hey, I've played one of my best characters was somebody's had one character die and the sister came back and to look for his gold.
I vaguely remember that. Was I in that game?
It was epic. That was.
And of course, you could just get better.
Since it's a leg, I think I'm going to have to try and risk it.
What is
Have
that?
somebody look at it.
Have somebody look at it. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, so do you want to do that secretly before? Do you want to send for someone, or do you want to limp over to the Meister, or what do you want to do?
Well, if the leg is that bad, am I even able to get onto it?
You can move. You can walk. You're minus 1 die and 3. You're minus a die plus 3 on everything you do. So it's bad, but it's not. But you can still walk.
I think I would like to go ahead and limp over, showing that I'm still in fighting. So don't count me out as dead yet.
Okay. So you want to go find? Are you going to find the Meister? He's probably the best healer in the castle.
Yes.
Okay. All right. I'm not sure what the Meister's going to do, so I'm going to leave that a secret because that's
Okay.
Gary's character, and I would love to get him in. He has returned home from his time in the hospital,
Awesome.
so he's recovering slowly but surely. So what I'm going to do is just going to say that for the moment, you guys are going to play it straight. Maybe he hasn't discovered. Maybe he has discovered and is keeping it secret. Maybe he has discovered and is holding over your head and making you do terrible things for him. No one knows yet. Okay? And instead, Sir Lord Tanner will find you in the Meister's chamber, halls of healing, basically, where you are recovering.
Okay.
Lord Tanner, you find Benjamin. Benjamin is lying in bed with his leg bandaged up.
Lord Benjamin has just left the room, so
Oh, so he did. Okay. Let's get a die roll for Benjamin's healing. I'm not entirely sure what the Meister's healing abilities will be, but I'm going to guess probably 4 dice. He may end up with some bonus dice, but I'm not really sure. But for now, we'll just roll 4 dice. Benjamin, why don't you roll 4 dice for me?
Oh, with the way my luck's been lately?
You only need 6, and there's no penalties.
that leg's gonna fall right off.
I'm rolling awesome. An 8.
Okay, that's enough. So you recover 1 injury on day 3. Roll again.
Oh, that's a little bit better. 12.
Okay. Let me see if you recover 2. I think maybe if you you succeeded by an additional degree. So maybe maybe that would be enough to heal both of your remaining injuries. Yes, each degree of sickness removes 1 injury. So On the day 4, you recover. Your leg recovers the remaining injuries. You still have a wound. I totally forgot.
Yep.
You have a wound. One more roll, please.
Uh, 17.
Okay, so it takes a week to recover from a wound.
Okay.
So about a week goes by, and you spend that time in the Meister's hospital, and your leg recovers. And it's pretty close to the end of the month at this point, because it was like day 17 before all of this happened. So that would make it about day 23, 24. The difficulty was higher for an injury, but you got a very high number. So for the wound, I mean. Yeah. Okay. So it's about a week. It's about day 24 of the month, and your leg is healed.
Awesome.
Tanner, Ricard, Lord Tanner. You went by and saw Benjamin. He's recovering. His leg got pretty bad. It looks like he was, you didn't see it yourself with your own eyes, but the Meister informs you that Benjamin's leg was bitten by the crocodile and twisted, and the flesh was torn, and it got infected by marching through the river. And but it's now clean. The wound has been properly dressed and cleaned, and he is recovering and should be well within the week.
Oh, that's good news.
All right. Well, a week passes. Corlin, are you going back into the forest?
So Benjamin is not quite healed yet.
He is now. It is now day 24, and he is healed.
Okay, so we've actually waited several weeks at this point.
No, not several weeks. No, you waited 1 week.
Oh, it was just a week, and he's back to.
Most of those rolls were for injuries, which are minor, and they heal after a day.
Oh, okay. Okay, good.
Once his leg went bad, no, then it was 2 days for it to go bad, and then a week, so 9 days. So it's like day 26 of the month. Your original expedition. So it's about 9 days later, about a week and a half.
We got a week and a half, but he finally seems to be on the mend.
Yes.
Okay, so is he good? Sir Benjamin, are you good to head back into the forest?
Oh, definitely. I think that we may have been told to go to the north and to the path, which I think may have alerted the bandits that we were going there. So I think we should try our own path next time and not follow someone else's suggestion.
Yeah, I agree. Let's first of all, let's do this quietly. So this is just me and Sir Benjamin talking, right?
Yep.
I would say we won't even tell Lord Tanner or anyone else. We will just go to our men individually, tell them to prepare their stuff and meet us at Tanner Hall, and just don't tell them anything else of where we're going or anything else. They'll know we're going to the woods. We just literally won't tell anyone our plan is.
Now, the last time that you went, you had 2 additional NPCs with you. They were guards, Tannerton guards, named James and John. They were just like baggage carriers. They're guards from the town.
Yeah, so I'm thinking we grab all the same people. Will,
okay.
Stefan, all those people.
Okay, so do you inform Will?
Yes, but
and you inform Stefan?
Yes, and basically all I tell him is, Sir Benjamin is recovered. We're going to be heading out. Don't tell anyone. We're letting people know individually.
Okay.
Pack your stuff and go. And we're basically going to try to leave at first light.
Okay.
In the morning.
All right. So, anybody else want to do anything before you meet up with Corlin for your return to the Wyvern Wood?
Just curious, the attacks that are on the road by the bandits.
Yes.
Are they attacks from people going both directions or one direction, or do we know?
That's an interesting question. Benjamin doesn't know, but Will does that people can be attacked going either north or south.
Okay. Because I was thinking maybe the bandits are waiting at either at the town or at the inn until they hear somebody's going to be on the road, and then going to the forest to let the bandits know. So then
that is exactly what the bandits were doing that you fought at the inn in our first session.
Right. So that way they can basically have somebody sitting in those two places enjoying a beer, an ale, when they hear there's going to be a traveler, go early, contact bandits saying, hey, we got somebody coming.
Yep.
Get ready to attack them.
Right. Anybody else want to do anything?
So we're going into the woods, then there's a good chance either we're not going to find them because they're in their homes, or a better chance of actually seeing them.
Yep.
They'll be out and about.
Well, I think the first thing we want to do is just explore the area just north of the river. And the goal would be avoid all major areas like inns and stuff this trip.
Yep.
To try to keep it really on the down low. And the idea is not so much to explore the forest, but just to make sure that the bandits aren't literally camping right across the river from Tanner Hall.
Yes.
Because at this point, they could very well be, from what we've explored so far, they could be there and we wouldn't know it.
Yeah.
So this is mostly an expedition to cross that off the list before we start to do a more systematic search of the rest of the forest.
Yes.
That, and also, we don't have to take as many supplies. We're closer to Tanner Hall in case anything goes wrong. This forest has been pretty dangerous. Gives us an opportunity to kind of make a little bit of a safer area closer to Tanner Hall.
And easier to get back all those bear skins and crocodile hides.
Yes.
Will, anything you want to do before you rejoin?
No, I don't think so.
Maina.
The glory point automatically goes to the house, right?
No. Okay, so Stefan and Maina and Benjamin and Will all got a glory point. Now, for those of you that are part of the royal house, you might end up spending that on the royal house. But if you are Stefan or Maina and you don't have fate points, destiny points, glory can do some of that for you. You can spend your glory point at any point to get a bonus die on any roll. But you have to spend it before you roll. So if you're like, I really want to do this thing, it's like life or death, or I really want to hit, or I really want to escape, or whatever, you can spend your glory point and gain a bonus die on the roll. Although you can, those of you that have, you can also spend your glory points and donate it to the house. But if you're just Maina the Falconer, or you're just Stefan and you don't have destiny points, you have that glory point to spend.
Yeah, I'm gonna sit on that.
Yeah.
Is there any mechanic for traps?
That's a good question. It would probably be like, depending on the kind of trap you're doing, like if it's a fairly simple kind of animal catching trap, you could probably use survival for that. But I'm speculating.
Maina would like to discuss with Corlin the idea of traps, keeping in mind that there are actual people living in the forest and they're not the intended victim of it. However, perhaps some kind of alert system could be set up to let us know if anyone ranges a little bit closer to Tanner Hall than we'd like.
Yeah, I see where you're going with that, but I'd be hesitant that we might actually catch people we don't intend to. There is quite a few people moving around up here. But maybe we could leave some non-lethal, like marking traps, just stuff that
Exactly.
someone crosses, it breaks the line, or moves a stick.
It just gives us information.
This gives us information. So no one's going to get hurt. These are just like sticks laying in a certain way, so if someone steps on them, they move.
Not disturbed by animals, but someone with a hefty weight like a person disturbs it, we will know.
Okay. No, I have no problems with that. Although I would want to use it judiciously, I wouldn't want our search to be slowed down to a crawl because we're fiddling with your sticks and twigs.
We can always mark out locations for a return trip at a later point.
Okay.
One thing you might, if you want to monitor people coming in and out of the forest, you might consider hiring or assigning just scouts to watch the river. Like you could just hire somebody to watch the river all day or all night and see if see who's coming in and out. I only note that as another option, not instead of, but as another way to try to get what you're trying to figure out. Okay. Are we all good?
And Stefan went to John the smith to teach him how to clean that sword.
Yes. Okay. So the sword is cleaned, and you've swung it around a little bit. You don't want to know how awful your chance to hit is with it.
Right, but John the smith said he'd give me something if I hit somebody with it, so I'm taking it.
Yeah, that's right. All right.
It's a huge freaking sword. How could his chance to hit be low? Is it just that they see it coming and dodge?
Noodle arms.
Yeah. All
He's
right.
a bowman, not a swinger of a sword.
That's right. He's a bowman. He's got his hunting bow. All right. In the early hours of the morning, you guys take a ferry. You take the ferry from Young Ned across the river. And you are, let me share my map. And you are here. Corlin, you're kind of the guy who picks where you're going, but Maina is better at not getting lost than you.
Yeah. So, I mean, basically, I'll follow her better orientation skills. And, but this time we're moving slowly through the.
Yep, but I'm gonna look at you to ultimately tell me where you guys are going.
So we're gonna move through 11. Was it 11-8?
Yep.
Following more or less the same route we took last time, the area we scouted last time, and we're gonna lay a couple of these marker traps.
Okay.
So that we can see if other people are coming through here.
Okay.
And then we're going to move on and explore Hex 10-8 by kind of heading to the ruins as quickly as possible and then just kind of spiraling out and making sure we hit the big areas. So taking our time. If it takes us all day or even more than one day, just explore the 10-8 Hex, that's fine.
All right. So you travel into the woods and you find the ruined. There's like a foundation of what used to be a fortification here, but it's really all broken down now. It's just some paved stones and some ruined walls. And it's on top of a hill that overlooks the road. You can see the sun here. The trees do not completely cover the ruins. But you know that there are some wolves that live here. And as you get closer, Maina and Corlin, you guys spot the wolves. I think Stefan also has stealth, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So the three of you are sort of the sneaky ones, with Will and Sir Benjamin lagging behind when you want to be sneaky. And you see a family of maybe a half a dozen wolves that lurk in these ruins. So avoiding them and not attracting attention, you're going to lay some traps. Now, the traps that you're placing are not designed to catch animals. They're something else. So I'm going to have you roll thievery, which you probably don't have. But that seems more appropriate than survival in this case.
That's fine.
So why don't you both of you roll, Maina and Corlin? So you are the guys putting up the tripwires or whatever you're placing.
It would help if I turned off the hard freaking mute.
Roll
2 dice because I don't have any rank.
That's correct. 2 dice, yes.
Okay. 9.
Okay, you succeed. You place some traps out there. Now you'll have to come back and look at them to decide if people have come. Right, if people have been this way.
Yeah. So that's why we laid those in the first text, because the plan is to explore 10.8,
Corlin,
then come back at the end of that and get to 11.8. I got a 4 by a way.
You rolled a 4. Okay.
Yes.
All right. So you guys place some of your traps. Maina, you try to place them where you're pretty sure the wolves won't accidentally hit them. Corlin, you also try to do this. And then you follow the trail. Now, it takes you about an hour to place all those traps. And then you follow the path, the bandit path, into Hex 1008. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, so that's about 2 hours total. And now you're going to search Hex 1008. Is that correct?
Yes. And we're going to move to where we think the ruins are, search the ruins and the area around it, and then we're just going to spiral out from there, kind of exploring the hex.
Okay. You guys are creeping through the forest, and once again, it's dark. There's fog. It's a little chilly, and you're moving through vales in between steep hills. There's dense forests are all around you in every direction. The ground is very uneven, and there are a lot of signs of foot traffic around here. And you approach the hall. Let me pull up my master map. Yeah. Okay. You get within eyesight of the ruins. South Hall is it looks like it was once a noble hall. Like it's not as well fortified as a castle or even a tower. I mean, it's more than a tower. It's not as well fortified as a castle. It has signs that it was built by Targaryens. So dragon iconography on the facade. I'm going to take the map away here. It's a tall rectangular hall made of stone with dragon symbols up top. And and it looks like the roof is gone or collapsed, but the walls are pretty intact, with some exceptions. Like there's one section near one corner, like a corner of the building has completely collapsed into rubble. And you creep around it, and you also realize there are some men on watch around the hall. And it becomes pretty clear to you that there's people living in the hall.
Okay.
And you creep around it, and your guess is there's dozens of people living in there. It's about, from what your guess, it's like mid-morning at this point. It's not quite noon by the time you get to South Hall. But you can see cook fires in there. You can smell people making food, and there's a smell of people. It also looks to you like some of the damage to the hall has been temporarily repaired by things like tarps or improvised wooden walls, where like part of the hall has collapsed or broken down. Maybe there's a hole in the side of it, and they've just hung a big tarp over it. But there's like dozens of people in there.
Okay. So we could very well have just found the source of the bandits. At the very least, we essentially just found a village, for lack of a better term.
Yeah, it's certainly a major habitation. Certainly the largest habitation that you found inside the forest.
So is there any area where we think we can, Maina, I work with her on this, but is there any areas where we think we could set up to watch this place without being seen, like a good spot that we could see a good area? If nothing else, just who comes and goes.
I want the two of you, Maina and actually and Stefan too, because you're probably up there with the sneaking around. So Maina and Stefan and Corlin, will you guys all roll awareness notice for me?
Okay.
You're being stared
11
at.
from Mina.
Stefan got a 10.
Stefan got a 10. Maina, what'd you get?
11.
Okay.
And quick question, can we see or gauge from this distance at all if it's men, women, and children?
You do see women and children, yes. It looks like families. Corlin, what'd you get?
15.
So they have dogs. Some of the watchers that are apparently on guard have dogs. And you realize you're at risk of being detected. Why don't I have the, what do you guys want to do? Before I have them roll to detect you, you guys can make a decision.
I would say as soon as I think that they have animals that might be able to smell us, I would get the whole group to basically pull away.
Okay. You got
As close as we can until we feel like we're far enough away that we're not going to get immediately observed.
Okay, so you're going to have to break line of sight. You're going to have to get far enough away that you cannot see the hall.
Exactly. Yes.
Okay. You do that. You retreat into the woods.
And then once we do that, I'd basically spend a little bit of time, basically have everyone chime in on what they saw.
Yep.
And then basically it comes down to Will's decision at this point.
I'm going to, while you guys talk, I'm going to add some stuff to the map, okay?
Okay. So, Will, this is basically come down to you. And Maina, of course, weigh in here. But we can either set up kind of farther away, as secluded as we can, and send in one of us who's a little bit more stealthy to try to watch and try to avoid the dogs. It's possible, but they might get caught. The other alternative is we walk in. We basically use some deploy to basically try to walk in. There's women and children there. There's other people there. We might be able to just say we're just travelers or whatever, and basically get some information that way. If we don't appear hostile and if we look like we kind of belong, we might be able to pull it off.
No offense, my Lord Tanner, but you certainly don't look like a mere traveler.
No, but Stefan, being young, might be someone who might be able to go in without causing alarm because he's a child.
Yeah, I would not recommend you go in, Will. I think you're too well known for some of the other people that might actually be here if it is the source where the bandits are hiding out.
Yeah, I'm probably pretty well known here, gotta admit. You know, it's hard to go anywhere without someone knowing something.
It's just too popular.
I do certainly believe that might be a safer approach than being discovered, observing them sneakily in the woods. If there's going to be any outcome at all, we might as well face it head on.
Yeah. I think along the same terms, I don't believe I should go in either if we choose that route. I am pretty well known around here, and people would know that I am the huntsmaster for Lord Tanner. So, I mean, most likely they want it, but there's too much of a risk. And of course, as a player, you know, I'd love a chance to play my squire with the bow. Easily swap into him because I think he or the two pack people we had come with, they might be a good choice to go in instead.
Garrett's playing the squire.
Well, Garrett's playing. Is he playing the bow dude?
Yeah. He's playing Stefan.
Oh, okay. Who's the other guy? There's another.
You have two like spear chucker dudes that they're just guards from town, and their names are John and James, named after two of the people that were watching our show.
Yeah, so we can play John or James.
Yeah, if we're to the point, and I'm also probably going to be well known, especially since some little child has been plastering my name everywhere as Master of Arms.
All right, so if you would look at the map,
People who know you.
I've added some details. You guys spend some time searching this hex, and it takes about 4 hours to completely search a hex.
Okay.
So if you do that, it's after lunch now by this point.
Yeah.
But you found some things. You found the road that leads away north from South Hall. You presume that at some point it hooks back up with the road fragment where you left it up in 906. But you're not really sure exactly where it would go. But presumably it's that road. It's the old road. You also found a trail that leads away from South Hall towards the ruins that you saw from the river a couple of weeks ago. And then finally you saw the stream that comes from the river and winds around this hex and farther deep into the woods. Kind of forms a border around a lot of this hex. You guys are in the woods. Having searched it, you broke for some lunch and continued searching. And it's now probably early afternoon.
I mean, if we send somebody in there, they're going to get captured. It's if there's like if someone goes in there and they get found out, they're going to be taken hostage. If we were to do that plan, I feel like we would need to prepare a bit more. To prepare a better ruse.
Yeah, but also,
Well, Mayna's. Sorry, go ahead.
Just meant going in as a group. Everybody knows everybody, and we're here just making sure that our lands are safe from any bandits. So we're checking out the forest along our border. It would not be really that, surprising.
All right, I need. Why don't I get everybody to roll awareness? Yes, everybody roll awareness for me.
6 from me.
12.
Okay, I'm gonna make a list here.
Pretty tree.
Okay. Who had the 12?
That was Corlin, of course.
Corlin.
13 from Mayna.
Nice.
Nice term.
Win bears this week.
Will?
6.
Stefan.
5.
This sounds like initiative.
It is. Benjamin.
3.
Oh. How did you see that tree?
It's
All right,
only when
let's,
they have leaves.
Forest.
Your 2 guards actually have 3 dice of awareness. Benjamin, why don't you roll for them?
Okay. Let's see. John.
Just roll 1 die for both.
Okay. 8.
Okay.
My leg's still bothering me. Okay.
Here you go.
Stretches every once in a while.
And then I'm gonna roll for James, can you link me a die roll room again that you had before?
Yeah.
Everybody, our cat. This may be the only time you'll ever see her.
Hello, our cat.
What's the kitty's name?
Persephone.
Oh, I love it.
We used to have one named Adonis, but he passed.
Aw. She's a lovely kitty.
She never gets this close to me, so I suspect she senses possible attention from the camera.
Very possible.
Miss Hammond
Well,
as well.
I've got 3 fur babies of my own, so perhaps my love of kitties is radiating through the interwebs.
Maybe.
There you go.
She's a scaredy cat. You can't go anywhere near her without her taking off. So this is really unusual.
She's being a good kitty.
Yeah. We've only had her 17 years.
She also knows that she's on the internet, and cats belong on the internet.
That's true.
Okay. Okay. You guys are deep in the woods. You've got a little spot on the top of a hill. You're surrounded by trees. The hill banks. Let's say that the hill goes away to the north, and there's a stream there. And the stream kind of winds around the hill from going from the north around to the west side of the hill. And then it winds away deeper into the forest. And you're all sort of getting together and deciding what you're going to do. And an arrow flies at you out of the woods, and you realize the outlaws have found you, and you are under attack.
Oh no!
Changes what we're gonna do.
Okay, so there are as you look around, and you see that more than maybe about a dozen bandits, outlaws, maybe more, have crept up towards you through the forest, and they are good at sneaking. And they are now moving towards you with axes. They are wearing hide, like tough hide, made from the local animals. And but Maina, you go first. Now because they have surprise, so they're going to have a bonus die on their attacks this round. But that doesn't keep you from acting. Everybody goes in the regular initiative order. They just get a bonus die for surprise.
Yes. Except for me. They do not get a bonus die against me.
That is correct, because you have danger sense.
Yes.
They are, at the moment, basically about a sprint distance, about 15 yards away from all of you. About 10 yards. They're about 10 yards away from all of you. Hold on. Did I get that right? No, that's not right, because they were creeping closer so that they can attack. They have crept like along the side of the hill so they can get close to all of you, and they're actually only about 6 yards away, so about 20 feet when they come out from from under the hill.
They just pop right up.
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah, I think time. Well, she's gonna look to Lord Tanner, because we were possibly still discussing talking to them. He could have a moment of saying, "Hey, surrender in the name of Lord Tanner."
These guys are charging with their axes, and they look.
Yeah, okay, then we're ready.
Yeah, they shot an arrow. I'm looking at you like save my life.
Oh, okay, yeah, we're doing that. Let's ready the crossbow.
All right, so you spend a greater action to load your crossbow. Is that right?
Yep.
Yep. Okay. Corlin.
I'm gonna whip out my bow and arrow. I'm not sure how ready they are for me to actually fire back.
You can ready your weapon as a lesser action. And
So I do that, I can then take a lesser action to shoot.
Yes, you can.
Okay.
You're -1. No, there's not even any penalty. You just roll a regular attack.
Yeah. So I'm going to do that. Do I still get to move along with that as well?
Well, no. You only have you have 2 lesser actions, unless you want to spend the destiny point. In which case you get another action.
Well, there's 5 of us, right?
There are 5 of you plus 2 grunt. There's 7 of you.
7 of us.
Yep, counting James and John, your spear carriers.
Which happens also to be our listeners.
Okay, cool. So, yeah, I am going to spend a destiny point.
Okay, do it.
Use it to take another action. Do you get another greater or lesser action?
You get another lesser action, but you can combine both of them and do. You have 2 lesser actions now.
Okay.
You ready your weapon, and then you have 2 lesser actions still.
Okay, so how many people do I see?
about a dozen, maybe more.
About a dozen, maybe more.
Wow.
And they're charging you with axes.
Okay. I am going to basically move away from them.
Yep.
And then shoot.
Okay, so take your regular movement. What's your regular speed?
It's 4.
Okay, so you're going to move half that distance because the ground is difficult. Okay, so you backpedal about 6 feet, 2 yards, and then take a shot.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So then I take a shot, and
Yep.
that's going to be. Here. All right, so my shot is a 23.
You hit 4, 9, 13. You hit 4 times.
Wow.
Damage?
So damage of 24.
You kill him. You put an arrow through his head. He falls down like a sack of potatoes.
All right.
Do you want to tell me now? They're charging for all of you. So, whose bandits are you shooting? Are you shooting the guy that was going to charge you, or one of the guys charging someone else?
I would the person that's the closest to me.
Okay, so the guy charging you.
Yeah.
Okay, done. After Corlin, your guards. They are going to wait until the outlaws get close and then attack them with their spears, which happens effectively immediately. So, Deborah and Corlin, why don't you guys both roll 3 dice for the guards, John and James?
12.
He plants his spear in the ground and falls over backwards.
Did he roll a 3?
4.
A 4. Well, it could have been worse. He could have rolled 3 1s. All right, so you got to, believe it or not, his 4 actually hits.
Oh.
Wow.
But he doesn't do any damage because their armor is enough to take it.
So the 12 is going to do something, right?
A 12 hits twice. So his damage of 3 is doubled to 6. And he is now engaged with an outlaw who takes 1. Okay. So if you would keep track of that for me, Corlin,
Okay.
that guard's bandit has taken 1 health.
I need to change my dice.
Now it's their turn. Let's get some die rolls. Let's start off with player characters because that's who matters. All right. Corlin, 2 of the bandits charge you. I'm sorry, 1 bandit charges you, but you backed too far away, so he can't reach you. So he's going to have to actually sprint and close. So he closes, but he doesn't get to attack. Okay?
Good.
The other one that was charging you, you shot dead. Will, 2 outlaws charge you with axes. That's not correct. What's your combat defense, Will?
6.
Okay. Charging. Remind me again what the charging adds. Like it adds to damage, but subtracts from the attack roll, right? Suddenly forgotten.
Seconds.
James, you know all this.
Yeah, it is in.
Charge. Here we go. Minus 1d, but add 2 damage. Yes. Okay. Your combat defense is 6. Will?
Yes.
Okay, you get hit with an axe for 3. How's your armor?
Armor rating of 3.
Okay, so the first attack glances off your armor. Second one, however, hits you for 6. So you're going to take 3 health, or you can negate that with an injury or a wound.
What did the injuries and wounds do again?
An injury is -1 to everything, and a wound is minus a die. It's a penalty die.
Let's just take the health for now.
Okay, you take 3 health.
Yeah, if you have extra health left, it's fine.
Well, that's not always true, because sometimes you're going to take so much health that you can only live if you have gotten rid of some of them earlier, right? Like if you take a big overwhelming hit. So, but anyway, there's not one best way to deal with hit points.
Yeah.
But anyway, so Will, you're done. Corlin, you're done. Sir Benjamin, 2 outlaws charge you. Your combat defense is what?
7.
Okay, so what's your armor?
Rating is 6.
Okay, they bounce off of your armor.
Awesome.
They hit you, but they batter you, but you ward them off with your shield and your tough armor. Stefan. Uh-oh. Stefan, what's your defense?
My defense is combat defense is 7.
This is going to get ugly. So the first guy runs up and he hits you with an axe for 6 health. Do you have any armor?
1.
Hits you for 5 health. You can either take 5 health, or you can take you don't have any endurance, right?
No.
You can negate 2 health by taking a wound, or you can negate all the damage. You can negate 2 health by taking an injury, or you can negate all the damage and take a wound. It's 5 health.
Or I could spend a glory.
Glory adds to your bonus dice. It adds a bonus die to a die roll.
Okay. I guess I'll take a wound.
Okay. So you negate all the damage, and you don't take that 5.
Right.
Okay.
Yep.
Now you have a wound. So now you're -1 die and everything. So he swings his axe, and you dive to the side, and you take he hits you in the ribs, and you take an axe to the side, and it's bleeding, and it hurts like a son of a bitch. You've never heard this much in your life.
I won't be here anymore, not you.
No, I do not.
The second guy, he runs up and hits you with his axe, and you're going to take another 6. So -1 is 5.
Hey,
You're gonna take
Jason,
another 5. Yes.
can glory points be spent mid-battle?
They can be spent on anything you roll a die for. They give you a bonus die.
But it can't be, like, because Mena used her action, I can't use the glory point to interject at all?
You can add to anything that Mena is doing.
Okay.
You can add they're very limited in this case. All they can do is add a bonus die.
Okay.
So, Stefan, you're going to take another 5, unless you want to take another. And if you take another wound, you die. So you're down.
Well, we won't be doing that.
Yeah.
He only has 1 endurance.
No, if you take injuries, take wounds equal to your endurance, you die.
Oh, so you can still take an injury.
You can take injuries, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can take 2 injuries.
Yeah. If you took 2 injuries, he'd be left with 1 damage, right? Because
Correct.
each injury is the number of endurance you have.
Correct.
And you can take 2 injuries max.
Yes.
All right. Basically, the next hit, you're dead.
Yeah. So you take 2 injuries, and then you have 1 health damage, and you got 6. So
So I'll take injuries.
Okay, so you take 2 injuries, and you take 1 health after that. So as you scramble away from the first guy, second guy runs up, and You actually don't get hit by the axe. You like roll to the side and you twist your leg. And it's not life-threatening injury. It just gives you a minuses. So now you're at -2 for your injuries and minus a die for your wound. But you only took 1 health. Now we go to Maina. 2 bandits charge you. What's your combat defense?
So it looks like she has soft leather armor, so that gives her a combat defense of 7.
Yes. Okay, good. You're going to get hit by some axes.
Now, animal cohort, it says whenever you roll fighting tests. Is this considered a fighting test?
When you attack.
Okay, that's an attack.
You attack.
Okay.
Right now, you're just using your basic defense.
Okay.
That's like your armor class, right? Okay, so you're similar to Stefan. It's not going to look good for you. They rolled pretty well. So you're looking at 2 hits, both of 6.
All right, so AR is armor resist 2. Does any of that? AR2 AP -1.
The armor of 6, the damage of 6 is reduced to 5.
Okay.
It's -1 for your armor because you have light armor.
Okay.
You're like soft leather armor. So you're going to take 2 hits of 5 damage each.
And the injuries soak.
Injuries are relatively minor, but what's your endurance stat?
That is not on here.
Okay, so you have 2. So you can take an injury to negate 2 hit points of damage.
Oh god, there's still 10 of it though.
You can take the 10 of it would get reduced by 4. So you'd still have you have a hit of 5 and a hit of 5. And you can negate 2 points with 1 injury, and you can take a total of 2 injuries. Or you could take a wound, which negates all the damage from 1 hit, and you take a wound.
I think we're going to have to go Stefan's route and take 1 wound to negate the first hit.
Yep. And then 2 injuries.
And then 2 injuries,
okay, so
which leaves me with 2 health.
You end up taking only 1 health because the first hit is entirely canceled. And the second one, you only take 1 health.
All right, so I've got 5 health left.
Yeah, but now you're at a die.
And
you're minus 1 penalty die, and you're -2. Yeah. So the bandits roughed you up. So then you've got your guards. So let's get their attack and then the bandits counterattack. Did we already roll that? Oh yeah, we did. We rolled your attack on them.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So now the bandits are going to attack John and James. First, yeah, that's right. So let's your guards have armor of, pull up their stats real fast. Here we go. Forces of House Tanner. Yeah. Okay. Armor rating of 3. Okay, so one of them takes an axe, but it's a minor hit and he doesn't take any damage. The second one, but where is my? Yeah, there it is. But then he gets hit for another hit for. Their defense is 5, so he gets hit for 15. So the other, but John gets his head chopped off.
Oh, bye, John. Sorry.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching.
Your head flyby.
John called our channel a hidden gem, by the way.
And you killed him?
I did. I told him.
Hey, that's
let's see what he's calling it now.
the best way to honor a viewer.
But I gave him a glorious death. Then the other guy, James, gets hit twice, but his armor bounces the damage. Okay, so.
Oh, bye, John.
That has been a very painful round. We're not done with it yet. It is now Will's turn.
Just real quick, was John the one that James was rolled, or was the one I rolled?
That's a very good question.
I think Deb rolled John.
Sure. Okay. Deb rolled John. So Deb, you've been relieved of duty on John.
Okay. But the other one was the one that got hit, so you know.
God's head bounces down the hill and lands in the stream. Will.
I'll swing back at the guy who hit me.
Okay. Remember, you have destiny points and glory, and this is a good time to spend them because things look pretty dire.
Yeah, I'm furiously reading what you can do with destiny points and trying to think of what could possibly.
Destiny points can give you another attack, or they can cancel out your penalty dice. Like if do you have injury dice or something? You have injury points?
Not yet.
You can spend them to turn. Do you have any bonus dice on fighting already?
Yeah.
You can turn bonus dice into regular dice with destiny points.
Yeah.
You can also get another action with the destiny point. You can also, yeah, all that stuff will work. Glory also will give you bonus dice.
Yeah, so my challenge with the crocodiles was actually being able to do any damage, get through their armor, and I'm wondering if that's going to be a similar.
Well, their combat defense is pretty low. Like,
okay.
The higher your number gets, the more damage, the more damage you can do.
Yeah, the best way to get through armor is just be really accurate.
Yeah.
Right.
All right.
Just
Well, let me try a regular attack to see how this goes.
Well, you have to announce any bonus dice, any glory or destiny spend first.
Well, I'm hoping I can survive another round. We'll see.
Is that what you said? You're hoping you can survive another round?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Make an attack. Roll
it. 15.
Okay. What's your regular damage?
3.
All right. You hit 4, 9. You hit 3 times. So you do 9.
Cool.
You penetrate the guy's armor, and you want to. What do you want to do? Like slash or stab, or what is Will doing? He's axes.
I think he's swinging wildly for like the body, like the easiest possible hit he can make right at the midsection.
All right. You slash furiously, and then you see an opening, and you thrust, and you stab a guy, and it like sinks into his shoulder, and he staggers back bleeding. He takes 4 health, but he's still up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if you would track that for me. All right. After Will is Stefan.
Well, I kind of want to move away from these guys and then shoot them.
Yes, indeed you do.
So I move away. I am down 1 die. Is that correct?
Yes.
So I'm going to use my glory.
Yep. To get a bonus
4 die.
Well, you already have. It doesn't work like that. You actually rolled it. It's actually better for you than that. You're already 4 dice plus 1 bonus, so you're already rolling 5 and keeping 4. If you spend your glory, you're rolling 6 and keeping 4. But now you have a penalty die, so you're rolling 7 and keeping 4. No, I'm sorry, rolling 6 and keeping 3. I'm sorry, roll 6, keep 3. That's your. If you spend a glory, that's what you're rolling. Roll 6 dice, keep the best 3.
That's what I do.
Okay.
Oh.
I tell you, gotta change our dice. They are not rolling nice tonight.
10.
Okay, and you're -2 for your wounds, for your injuries, right?
8.
8. Okay, well, you hit him. His combat defense is only 4. But you don't do enough damage to penetrate his armor.
Well, remember, are you shooting? Is he shooting a hunting bow or a longbow?
He only has a hunting bow. He's never had anything more than a hunting bow.
Okay.
That's all he has. So you shoot an arrow, which I think does 3.
Yep.
And I don't think it has any piercing or anything.
Nope.
So your arrow like thunks into his his hide jacket, and things look grim for Stefan.
Can you burn multiple destiny in one fight?
Yes.
Okay.
Benjamin, save everyone.
All right, I'm done.
The bandit slayer.
I quit.
All right, where's my experience?
I've been working for the bandits all along.
All right. Do you have any destiny?
No. Well, I got the 2 on me, so I gotta take care of those.
Okay, first off, so I will note that you can split your attack if you want to, or you can I mean, there's a way to attack more than one person at once if you want to try
Okay.
that. If you're willing to spend destiny and glory, you could crank your attack up as high as you can and then split it between the two. Or you could just try to kill one, just one at a time.
Well, I'm seeing my comrades getting really hurt, so I think I'm going to try and split
Okay, so
everything up as far as I can.
all right, so what you're doing is a divided attack. So you can divide up your fighting test dice. So you have 4 dice and how many bonus dice?
2.
Okay, so you have 4 dice plus 2. So you could just split them and do 2 dice plus 1 against each guy, which isn't a lot. But you could spend destiny or glory to turn those into add more dice. Problem is you're not really good with the attack, so splitting it may not be enough. On the other hand, well, they have armor too, so maybe you just kill one. Maybe you need to just kill one.
Yeah, I think we're going to need to kill one.
Don't you have a special with your? Don't you have a thing with your using longswords?
Okay, so this is how it works. She is +1 because they don't have shields. And then you have a choice. You can sacrifice your bonus dice and automatically hit an extra time. So if you hit them, you at least hit them twice. But you sacrifice your bonus dice.
Let's try and just do a normal hit first.
Okay, roll it. Roll. So you're rolling 6 dice.
4. Oh, these dice like much nicer. 18. No, sorry. 20.
Okay, add 1 to your damage because they don't have a shield.
So 21.
No, that's not right. Add 1 to your attack. Add 1 to your attack because you don't have a shield.
Okay, 21.
I think, or did I? Now I'm confused. Let's look at your own character sheet because I wrote it
Okay,
there.
yeah. So
It is longsword. +1 to attack. Yeah, so add 1 to your attack total.
So I rolled a 20, so that'd be a 21.
Okay, so you hit on 4, 9, 14, and 19. You hit the maximum, which is 4 times. So multiply your 5 damage times 4 is 20. They have 5 armor. They take 15. You execute him messily.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Dice are evil.
Okay. Let's see. Corlin and Benjamin. You guys are the ones that both have like 1 less bad guy facing you.
Right.
You see there is an archer in the back of the, like, pretty far away from the fight. He looks like, why don't you guys make awareness notice rolls for me?
Five.
Corlin?
Second.
I'm sorry?
Just a second. And oh, okay. 18.
Okay.
Wow.
Benjamin, you don't really see anything besides there's a guy back there with the bow.
Okay.
Corlin, you see a guy back there. He looks old, like a kind of grizzled veteran guy. He's got like a white beard. He's kind of skinny. And he's wearing like a red bandana across his forehead.
It's Willie Nelson.
It looks like a young Willie Nelson. I've now decided. And he takes an aim at you, actually, because you have a bow. You're the only guy that can really hurt him. You see him take aim at you.
Okay.
Let's get a die roll. Let's see. He is using longbow. Okay. Your combat defense, Corlin?
10.
Okay, so he hits you twice.
Ouch.
Damage.
You got like a 20?
He rolled a 17, so he hit you on 10 and
right.
15.
5 over. Yeah. Hits me twice.
So piercing of 1. So subtract that from your armor,
Yep.
and then take 10.
So I take 8.
Okay.
Considering I have 6 health,
Yep.
that's going to go straight to a wound.
Wound. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And
You take
all that.
you take an arrow in the chest. We'll say it's in the side.
Okay.
And you got an arrow sticking out of your kidney.
Ouch. That hurts. That hurts.
Yeah.
You got another one. Stop crying.
All right. You can see him kind of looking at the fight, and he kind of seems like he's pretty satisfied with the way the fight's going. And he shouts out, don't kill the Tanner. He's worth more alive.
Or the Huntman.
All right, it's the top
All right,
of the round.
We'll put a knife to your throat and say one more step, and the Tanner gets it.
That's right. Okay, Corlin, you look around you. Stefan is almost dead. Mena is almost dead. You've lost one guard, and but you're okay. Well, no, you're injured now.
Yeah, I got an arrow in me.
You're okay. But Will and Benjamin are still on their feet.
Surprisingly, Phil's still on his feet.
It's you're the leader of the group. They'll do what but it's the top of the round. So what would you like to do?
Oh man, I'm of split minds. Part of me wants to put 2 arrows into that dude.
Right.
Got me.
Yeah.
Which would probably mean I die. But the other half, which is what he's going to do. He drops his bow and puts up his hands and says, "We surrender."
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, we're not going to win this fight. There's 10 more of them?
Yeah.
They're still up? And they want to cut down 2 of us, basically?
You shot one, and Benjamin killed one, and then there's a couple more that are hurt. But yeah.
Let Mena put a crossbow through the old dude.
I was like, I'm on the same thing. It's kind of, I'm not quite sure which way to go.
You guys can surrender. Like if you surrender, you get to pick. The way that combat works in this game is that if you surrender, you have some say over what happens to you narratively. Your characters may not say, but as players, you get to say, okay, they capture us and don't kill us.
Yeah.
You have the power as players to do that by surrendering.
Yeah. Basically, where this comes down is very simple. If this was D&D, I'd be like, shoot the leader.
Yeah.
This is Game of Thrones. We do that, we're probably going to die.
Yeah.
We'll probably kill him. Between me and Corlin and Mena, we'll probably drop that guy before they kill us. But there's no way we're going to make it through alive, basically. Because it's pretty brutal.
So you throw down your bow and surrender.
Yeah, and I say everyone surrender. Drop your weapons. Drop your weapons.
Okay. Mena, I forgot you. You actually should go first, Mena. My initiative track was tricking me.
Good, just attack.
But he says that. But it's before you act. But it is your action now. You can surrender, or you can.
If he says it before the action, then she's gonna comply.
Okay. All right. So you drop your crossbow and surrender. Corlin surrenders. James, who's still alive, drops his spear. The outlaws surround all of you and look like they're going to take you prisoner. Will?
Yeah, I'm gonna drop my sword.
Okay.
And say this is over.
Okay.
We surrender.
Stefan?
And I surrender.
Okay. It's tough, isn't it? I can tell Garrett's like, what a fight to the last injury. Benjamin? Benjamin's thinking, look, I can take these guys. Like, they can't do enough damage to get through my armor. I can fight all 10 of them.
It goes against the grain to surrender.
It does. It does.
My
But they've got
lord.
Will at this point. Will's dropped his sword and they've grabbed him.
I will.
Could run away.
No.
On your brand new leg.
Yeah.
I glare at everybody and drop my sword.
You do this under, you would like to lodge an official protest.
Yes, yes, I protest this strongly. This is not the way it works.
All
My
right.
lord, I file an official complaint.
Yes, you filed an official notice of complaint. And
The
you
huntsman does not get to decide whether or not we surrender.
all right. They grab you guys. And the old guy walks down into the valley. You briefly lose sight of him in the mist. There's a really dense fog, which is how these guys got as closest to you as they could. There's a really dense fog. And so he kind of disappears into the fog because he goes down off of a hill into the vale. And then he comes back up out of the fog. It's got to be Dugan the Red. Like, he's... None of you have ever seen Dugan the Red, but as he gets closer, and all of you... Before, a lot of you didn't notice him because you were busy fighting for your lives. But he walks up, and he sees all of you. Untamed, unbroken, captured. And he says, you see, boys, I told you. Let them get their guards down and get overconfident. Nobles. Fall right into your trap every time. Let's get them back to the hall, and then we can send our ransom notice with a dead body to make sure they take us seriously. All right.
There's one right there.
That seems like a good place to pause the game.
Seems reasonable.
Everybody gets 4 XP. And we will pick up with all of you guys, or maybe we may pick up with the other. Let's see. We may pick up with Lord Tanner and Jenna back home. Well, and play both sides because the rest of you are captured at the outlaw camp. But I'll give it some thought, and we'll pick up next week from there. Anybody have any questions or unresolved issues that I should deal with before our cliffhanger ending?
No, I will be talking with the huntsman about who is able to surrender.
Well, this is a classic Game of Thrones setup because they're going to have to kill somebody to send the body back. So we have to decide who are they going to kill.
They already got one. They got the guard. They got
Oh, that's
John.
They got
Yes, they got
John.
him with his head.
All of the audience is now
So
placing bets on
we
the
surrendered. They capture us, but can we also say that we surrendered and the dead body they send back is John?
Well, you guys surrender, so no.
Damn it.
But what you'll end up is you'll end up going back to the camp, and you might want to think of this is a great opportunity to intrigue the shit your way out of this problem.
Will.
Will.
Right?
I'm
No
gonna
pressure.
Really charm Dugan. He seems easily charmed.
Maybe, yeah. Well, I'll let you decide if you should start with Dugan or not. But anyway, so we'll pick up there next week. Anything else? Although before I pause the game. All right.
Love it. I love this turn of events. This is
Thanks for
awesome.
watching.
I'm so happy we surrendered.
And we'll pick up with our brave, heroic, and captured crew next game.